Generally, my teeth were not white, very chipped and jagged. Because of the heavy grinding, it was just not perfect. I wanted it done right. I've seen a number of lives you've changed. Dentists are saying, oh my God, that's incredible work. When you have a dentist and a number of them say, that's incredible work, you know you made the right choice.
So Dan, I know that you've had a lot of treatment with us. So can you tell me a little bit about the treatment that you had done?
I think when I started this, it was last year, and I had all the front bottom ones were filed down to such a point that it's exposing, is that the dentin?
Yes.
The dentin was exposed. I'm a heavy grinder. I couldn't use appliances for all my life. And so generally my teeth were not white, very chipped and jagged. Because of the heavy grinding, it was just not perfect. I'm a dental consultant. So when I talk to dentists, I know that they're looking at my teeth. They don't say anything, but a few have offered to say, hey, if you want to get that sorted out, then, come see me. My wife and I just decided, actually we need to do that. Not because I'm on stage and speaking to a bunch of people, but because it was something I had attention on.
Yeah.
And so for me, this was something like a little bit of a life goal, something I wanted to achieve. Being a dental consultant, I had a ton to choose from. A lot of people wanted to, sort me out. And because I also run a dental marketing company, I do all their testimonials. I see all their before and after photos. I see their social media posts. I help them. I train them on it. The stuff coming from you guys was by far, the best. I mean, I'm in Florida. I had 5 clients within a 30-minute drive. I had probably 20 clients within, a 4-hour drive, all the way to Miami and that sort of thing. And a number of them said, come, let's do this. But I knew it was a big investment. I knew it was a big investment of time. I wanted it done right. So I decided on you guys.
Amazing. Well, we're glad you decided on us.
Yeah.
So I know that you mentioned that you had a lot of grinding and things like that. How did that impact how you were able to eat, your confidence? What was really the triggering force of you wanting to do this?
Probably the most triggering thing that got me to move after thinking about it for a while was I did have a bridge. I lost a tooth from a root canal that didn't work out. So I had 2 other teeth to the side of it that were holding via bridge. It was a bit of a pain because I had to get underneath that to clean it. And I was starting to lose bone. It was a good bridge, so it lasted a long time, but I started to lose bone. So there started to be a gap between the tooth and the gum. And then one of the teeth that was holding the bridge in, actually the root cracked. So that had to come out. The whole bridge, of course, then because there was no tooth anchoring. Now I had 2 missing teeth. Then they said, listen, we can put an implant in, but if we put an implant, which is of course the best solution, but if we put an implant in, you do realize that we're going to have this little small nub because you've ground all your teeth out. If we put a big tooth in there, you're not going to be able to chew. If we just, lift the top, it's not going to make sense on the bottom. So it's time to confront the whole thing. And I just said, okay, good. That's time. It was the thing that impelled everything into motion. But for me, that was bad news, but it's good news because I finally got off my duff and did something about it.
So I know that one thing you said was that there was kind of an option where if we did just the implant, there'd just be a little one there. So one of the things we had to do with you was really build up your bite. What was that process like? How was the adjustment to the new bite?
So that was an interesting thing. So I went from this set of teeth that were mauled down, filed down, little tidbits of things, which I think anybody from far would say doesn't look bad. When you get up close, especially if you're a dentist and you know what's going on, we got trouble here. We got the uppers in, and immediately, first of all, just aesthetic was just unbelievable. And then we did the temporary lowers, and then having that smile, there was an adjustment where I had to learn how to speak, eat. It wasn't like I couldn't speak or I couldn't eat. It was just a slight inconvenience, but I think that was a couple weeks before I didn't notice that anymore. While it was a little bit of a time adjustment, the number of people that go, oh my gosh, your smile is just unbelievable. And it's not just dentists. Of course, dentists can see it a mile away. They're like, hey, see you guys. But even the dentists that because of course I speak in front of 1,000 dental professionals a month. Dentists are saying, oh my God, that's incredible work. When you have a dentist and a number of them say, that's incredible work, you know you made the right choice.
Now, one of the things you got to do that not all of our patients get to do is you got to work with both Dr. Rich and Dr. Vera throughout the course of your treatment. So how is it working with the two of them together? And what was the process like when you had feedback that you wanted to give them?
One thing I can say about the entire team here, I mean, I know you because you're clients, marketing company and all that, but the relationship, the interworking relationship that occurs here, the coordination is just fantastic. Everybody knows what they're doing. It's very chill. And as much as I work with a bunch of dentists, I'm not comfortable in the chair. You've seen it. I'm kind of like shaking. As much as I've been around dentistry and helped people overcome problems with their patients, I myself, as a patient, don't do well with dentistry. The dentistry from both Dr. Vera and Dr. Rich has been incredible. Dr. Rich just gets in there and does it. I mean, how he threw 2 implants in, for me, it makes me calm down. He's just so confident. He's talking, and then Vera checks with me all the time. How's that? And it's very upbeat and it's inspirational. And so the care factor is really high. I kind of see Rich as kind of like the race car driver. She makes sure that that race car driver is in a Cadillac. You know, it's like really this smooth, plush feel that makes everything very comfortable. So, you know, just get in there, get it done, and get it done right. Just have my final adjustment. It just feels like my natural teeth, and everything just works like it should. So she did that. Attention to detail, amazing. You know, Rich can tear down and build back a smile like nobody's business. So I've seen it a million times with all your testimonials and stuff. So.
I know you've talked a lot about how dentists have reacted, but what has your friends and family said about your new smile?
I mean, the number of comments I get about it, what I do like is that we didn't go this weird Hollywood white, but we wanted a nice white smile. My teeth have never been white my whole life. And so they had that translucence factor, which I think is just, you know, it's kind of a hereditary thing. We can kind of see through, but it almost makes them look a little gray. So now all of a sudden I've got this brilliant, glowing smile, but it's not too white. Like I said, the dentists that I work with say, gosh, it looks so natural. When you look closely, you'll see the detail. It doesn't look like, some model. It looks like a real tooth. So it's amazing.
I agree. She's definitely very detail-oriented when it comes to the shade, everything like that. Now, how has your job been? Have you noticed that with this new bite and everything that you're still grinding, or if things improved?
The grinding that I do happens at night. You fitted me out with the only one appliance I've ever used that I've used continually. I don't know what it was that you did, but you did that material, and it's very thin, and you gave me 2 of them because it's so thin. You said, but I haven't worn through it, but I wear it every night, and it goes in and I don't even notice it. I think it's even smaller or thinner than Invisalign. I've never had Invisalign. Every appliance I've had prior to that was this kind of lunky thing, and I don't know what happened. I'd put it in my mouth and I'd start to feel like gagging, and then I'd just wake up in the morning and the thing would be on the floor, and I'd obviously pull it out. This, I put it in. I literally have it next to my toothbrush. So my brush, pop that thing in, even if it's an hour before bed. I don't notice it, and I actually kind of like it because I know that I'm not going to chip these things. So that's amazing.
Yeah, you're doing all the right things to keep things moving smooth and taking care of things. What is the upkeep with your new smile? Is anything different?
Dr. Vera has made it clear, because I have veneers, that I really need to keep on flossing and cleanliness, even though they're beautiful and they're bright and they're all this, that I need to keep, all my brushing and my flossing in place so that there's no bacteria that can get into the seams. And I think I'm going to be going to the dentist every 4 months just to make sure. It's a massive investment of finance, time, effort. I'm going to just, you buy a new car, you keep it clean and you keep it tuned up and stuff. I'm going to do the same thing. So I think all it's doing is it's just keeping my discipline in of what I should be doing, what everybody should be doing.
I definitely agree. It's something that you have to stay on top of.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say to someone that was in a similar position to you before, heavy grinding, their dentin was exposed and they're thinking about treatment like this?
First of all, with regards to large dental work, well, any dental work, get it done. Anytime you wait on dental work, it's just going to get more expensive. Had I moved a little bit faster on this, it would have been a little bit less. Had I moved on at the time that it first came on my radar, it would have been less invasive, less expensive. If I take a look at anybody who's considering a larger amount of dental work, people say, well, was it expensive? That's all kind of relative. We're all driving cars that are, most of us 30, 40, 50, 60, some 80, $100,000 cars. So To me, that's expensive. That amount of money is expensive. If you take a look at that, why would we do that? Well, we do that because it's important to our lives and it's something we use and need every day. I use my teeth and my smile more than I use my car. I think I use my teeth and my smile more than I use most anything else except for maybe my phone, and my bed. I think from an investment perspective, here you guys will work out ways to make sure that it's like a car. You don't go and buy, okay, here's like $50,000 for that 50. Who has that? Nobody has that. So you have programs and stuff to make people more comfortable with that approach. But this is also, you think about how long does a car last? The car lasts 5, 6, 7 years. Some people really great, 10 years. Some people bored with their cars after 3 years. If I take care of this thing, this is 20 years. This is 15 years. So what car lasts that long? I would say to anybody who's put off caring for themselves, anybody who's neglected, I don't want to do that because that would be selfish. I've got other things that are more important, my family, my life, this and that. I'd say if you think about this, I was thinking about this every day, just about every day. I look at my smile and go, oh, I'd see that. I would say if you think about it a lot, if it's a health concern, if it's quality of life concern, I didn't want to have attention on other people thinking about my smile. I don't know that they were, but I didn't want to have attention on it myself. So if this is on your mind, come in, get checked out, figure out what it would take and see what the options are and do the best you can.
Is there anything else you want to share?
So I fly from Florida to come here. I have flights, rental cars, Uber, hotel, food, and all that stuff. I do that because I wanted it done right. I didn't want to have to go through something that was that kind of expense, that kind of investment of time, and it not be perfect. I've seen all that you have done. I've seen the number of lives you've changed. I've seen the tears that come to people's eyes, restoring them to confidence, restoring them to a quality of life, restoring them to the ability to take a photo in a family photo. I didn't have the amount of money that I could say, if it doesn't go right, I'll just redo it. Not yet in my life. I'm not there. I wanted it done right. And so for me, that is 100% worth the trips. It was a number of trips, period of time, but here I am.
Here you are with your new smile.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And I don't even care if anybody else notices it. I notice it. Of course, even my wife last night, I sent her photos. So, thank you.
Anytime. And that's where it starts. It has to start with you. That's the biggest thing we see is the confidence change. And I think that's the thing that's most impactful for me is just watching people completely transform over the course of treatment. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, 100%. I get up on stage and I smile with pride. And I did. It was sometimes I'd do this and it just looks funny. So yeah, let's change things.
Amazing. Thank you.